From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story, sentencing was held this afternoon for a former school bus driver convicted of sexually assaulting a young girl over a period of 7 years. Stephanie Woodard was in Fairbanks Superior Court and files this report.
Joseph Turney was originally convicted of the 20 counts associated with the continued sexual abuse of his daughter to 50 years in prison. Today, due to an appeal, he was resentenced in front of Judge Lyle to 41 years in prison. Opening arguments from prosecution said Turney assaulted the woman hundreds, if not thousands of times, further resulting in a forced pregnancy and baby born to the then 14-year-old with special needs.
He committed hundreds, if not thousands, of sexual assaults over from 2001 to 2008. He may be a first-time felony offender, but he is among the most serious, and this was a crime that continued for years.
Turney's parents, who have supported him throughout the years of this case, spoke today asking the judge for leniency.
And any person sitting in this courtroom that has kids, that would be sitting in my son's chair right there, you would be beside your child. And I stand beside my son for who he is and not what he did.
Turney was able to address the court, in which he directly spoke to the victim present in court.
I hope that my words and the accountability and recognition of my actions, as well as the punishment I receive here today, helps you understand, heal, and overcome the grief, sorrow, and loss I've caused you and this family. You were right, Destiny, and I was wrong. You were right, and I was wrong.
Judge Lyle stated the case was egregious, noting the continued abuse and the continued hardships faced by the victim, who has to raise a special needs child, who the judge said would someday learn the man she called her grandfather is actually her father. This is Stephanie Woodard reporting.
Quick action saved a downtown Fairbanks home from severe fire damage this afternoon. Fairbanks Fire Department responded to the fire on Kellum Street around 12 noon. According to the occupants, the cause of the fire was a child who urinated on an electrical outlet. Flames began shooting from the outlet, and the occupant said she quickly reacted, turning off the circuit breaker and using a nearby fire extinguisher to control the blaze. The amount of damage to the residents, if any, is unknown. No injuries were reported.
Well, I saw the breaker start to smoke, so we flipped the breakers and it kept smoking, flaming. So I yelled at the kids to get out of the house. The youngest one, Tassiana, or the oldest one, Tassiana, got the fire extinguisher for me, and we unloaded the fire extinguisher. Still kept smoking, so I was on the phone with the fire department while I was extinguishing, and yeah, we were lucky enough to get it out. It was still smoking when they got here, but they said we unloaded enough to put the actual fire out.
A Fairbanks man accused of falsifying information regarding a pipeline bombing has been released from custody while he awaits trial. 61-year-old Philip Olson was arrested last week, accused of lying about a 1978 bombing of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline that led to a leak of almost 588,000 gallons of oil. Investigators say during the arrest they found 26 marijuana plants, nearly 3 pounds of processed marijuana, and 3 firearms. The statute of limitations on the charges he may have faced in connection with the bombing have expired. This past week, a group of cadets graduated from the Advanced Wildland Firefighting Academy. With the fire in Kenai and other fires throughout the state, the graduates can plan on busy summers. The academy includes a classroom work and 14-day field curriculum. It's part of the University of Alaska Fairbanks Fire Science Program. The State Division of Forestry and Bureau of Land Management's Alaska Fire Service are in joint partnership supporting the program.
Learn how to use wildland fire pumps, how to run a chainsaw. They learn leadership skills and earn their squad boss qualification to be a squad boss trainee in the field. And they also learn helicopter crew member training and basic air operations.
All right, when we come back, bear control is helping boost the moose population for subsistence hunters. And everything you wanted to know about transplanting, that's your garden report. Stay with us. Welcome back. State wildlife biologists have again killed dozens of bears in an effort to increase the number of available moose for subsistence hunters in part of the western interior. The Department of Fish and Game says data so far shows higher moose calf survival rates during the past year. The Predator Control Project was requested by villagers and endorsed by the Board of Game. This year, biologists shot and killed 64 bears near the village of Sleepmute. They killed 89 bears last year in an area wildlife officials say at one time had the best moose hunting in that game unit. Meat from the bears was shared with local villages. Kids have nearly 3 months to entertain themselves, and the public libraries are offering a fun way to keep them reading. The Noel Ween Public Library, the North Pole Library, and the Fairbanks North Star Borough Bookmobile have started their summer reading programs to entice kids to read during the vacation. The free program offers weekly incentives for kids to read and listen to books each week until the end of July. While reading is the goal, the library will also host special events.
Because we have weekly programs here on Tuesdays and Thursdays ranging from animals such as a petting zoo, dog agility, and snakes, to the local robotics team. Schrodinger's Hat is going to come into a program. A couple people from the university are going to be here, one talking about red pandas, one doing physics experiments. So a lot of different variety of activities.
You can sign up for the program at the libraries and learn more at fnsblibrary.org. We've posted a link at webcenter11.com. The University of Alaska Fairbanks did something different for this year's Legacy Lecture. Rather than host a live discussion with an influential UAF graduate, they decided to record a video interview. The lecture will spotlight Helen Atkinson, the first woman to graduate from UAF's civil engineering program back in 1936. When she graduated, Atkinson was one of 50 female engineers in the entire world. Organizers recorded the interview in March, and the 99-year-old Atkinson was planning to attend the Monday night screening, but she passed away earlier this month.
I called her in April to arrange for her flight up and found out that she had a stroke and she was in Providence Hospital, and she told her daughter, "I'm coming." She did not want to miss it, so she'll be there in spirit, and we'll be there to celebrate her life.
The Helen Atkinson documentary will play Monday night at 7 p.m. in the Murray Building at UAF. Admission is free, and there's free parking at the Museum of the North. Well, now that the coldest temperatures are behind us, we can think about transferring our plants from inside to outside. Here's tonight's gardening tips.
Hi, this is Stephen Seefeld again with the Cooperative Extension Service here in Fairbanks. And last week we talked about hardening off plants so you could transplant them. Today we're going to actually talk about transplanting, and we're going to do it in 2 stages. First, transplanting from a flat into a pot, and then from transplanting from that pot out into your garden. When you're transplanting, the first step is to start out with good wet soils. You want your plant roots to be completely comfortable. You don't want them to be stressed at all. You'll gently take a small clump of plants out of your tray, and you'll gently knead them apart, and then you'll put them in the smaller single pots, and then tamp them down enough that everything holds, but not so firm that you've taken away all the air spaces. After you've gotten a set of trays planted, then water them all again gently so that you know that the roots are going to have the moisture they need. Keep them in the shade in your house. Don't put them right in the bright sun. Keep them away from fans initially so that there's not any stress on them. And then after a couple of days, you can start treating them like normal plants. Add a little bit of fertilizer. That won't hurt anything at all. So when you take your transplants outside to put them in your garden or your raised bed, dig a hole that's a little bit bigger than the size of the pot that they're in. Put them in that, and then gently put soil in around them and press them down. Water them, and they should be good to go. Next week we'll be at Rosary Creek Farm, and there we're going to be talking about thinning plants that you may have seeded too much of in your garden.
Gardening tips brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
Okay, Joe Cook joins me now, and we're going into the weekend, but there was sports going on all this week, including one of my favorites.
Oh,
soccer.
I wonder what it is. Okay, soccer. Yeah, state tournament. Some big games from the state tournament. West Valley boys had a heck of a game. We'll find out if they won or lost. They went into double overtime and then some. And plus a couple of champions. They were crowned. this week in the interior, including standouts from high school gymnasts. So you'll see who won that event and more after the break. Welcome back, Interior Alaska. It's Friday already, so let's get the weekend started with some sports. Yesterday in Anchorage, the West Valley boys soccer team left everything on the pitch against the defending state champions in the open game of the state tournament. After 110 minutes of game time, a winner still wasn't decided, so it came down to a shootout, and South prevailed, winning the shootout 3-2 on penalty shots for a 1-0 win to advance. West Valley went through regulation, 2 overtimes, and 2 sudden death periods. Brenton Clifford scored the game winner for South. The Wolfpack will play Juneau in the consolation bracket. Also, the Lathrop girls picked up a win today in their consolation game. The Monuments won 4-0 over Thunder Mountain. They led 1-0 at the half before getting 3 more in the second half to pull away from the Falcons. Lathrop will play for 4th place tomorrow against the Wasilla Diamond winner. Last night, high school gymnasts competed in the Region 6 championships. The gymnastics season had been on a 2-year hiatus. Regionals culminated a season that had 3 meets. West Valley came away with the Region 6 championship led by freshman Caitlin Chris Carboy's wins on the vault and floor exercise. Teammate Megan Ellis won the balance beam event, and senior Justine Johnson was 3rd all around for the Wolfpack, and Chris Carboy was 2nd in the all-around. The Wolfpack tallied 139 points as a team to get the title, but the best all-around title went to Lathrop senior Megan Perry. Her final all-around score was 33.45 points, a little over a point better than Chris Carboy. Lathrop finished 2nd in the region with 121 points. It was close in determining the all-around winner, but Perry credits the competition as she ends her gymnastics career on top.
It was a lot of hard work to get back into it after last year not being able to do it. Okay. It's exciting. Definitely a push, because you had to push yourself to get on top of the podium. So with them here, it helped us. We had to drive to be with them in the school. It's nice.
They work well together. They have worked hard. Everybody's always been encouraging each other, and that was probably one of the best things about this season, was that the girls all were wanting the best for each other. Everybody was looking out for each other.
And the Lathrop softball team wrapped up the Rail Belt Conference with a win last night. The Malamutes rallied in this one after trailing 0-4 to Wasilla. They answered with a 7 spot in the 3rd inning. Lathrop's Melissa Gibson led the charge, going 3 for 3. Played well on defense as well. Paige Scallon Boswood, Selena Maxwell, and Callie Hoyas also went 2 for 3. After regaining the lead, Lathrop didn't allow any more runs for Wasilla. There was a scare for Lathrop, though, when Casey Duffield, the starting pitcher, went down after getting hit by a pitch in the knee. Not good there. The second time she was hit in the game, she finished the game, and so did the Malamutes, who went 12-4 over Wasilla, clinching their 2nd straight Rail Belt Conference title.
We're down 4-0, and they just started hitting the ball, and they just have a tendency of doing that. They never give up, so just really resilient.
There's a lot of anxiety at first, and then we came back. We prevail always, so we find a way to do it. It's mental, all mental. We just got to put it together and make it work.
Winning the conference was our, one of our goals this year, aside from winning state. So yeah, it puts us in a good place, puts us in #1 seed. So yeah, it puts us in a good place for state.
Won 20-1 in their MAC regular season finale against Monroe. Abdali converted a 2-run inside the park home run, and Paige Shimura, she went for a nice shot. 3-1 homer for the Patriots. North Pole will head to the state tournament as the MAC champions. Hutchinson secured the 2nd MAC bid. West Valley bounced back with a 13-1 win over Palmer. Kyra Loom threw 7 Ks and gave 2 hits, while Cheyenne Hendry went 2 for 2 with 3 ribbies and 3 runs for the Wolfpack. Last night at North Pole Speedway, the Bandos and Legend cars got on the track for their 3rd week of action. Stephen Hunter is the front runner in the Bandos class, winning the first heat and main event last night. He is the points leader with 911 points. And in the Legend Series, Al Trado in the 43 car, he gets back on his horse after a close loss at the finish line last week to Austin Cody. He wins Thursday night's main event in the Legends. He has won 2 of the 3 main events in the Legends class so far this year. He becomes the points leader after coming in tied with Austin Cody last night. And now here's what's going on in the interior this weekend for sports. Saturday morning at 9 a.m. is the 2-way torture test. 2-person teams run in opposite directions to complete the 13-mile race. The race starts at the Pump House Restaurant tomorrow morning. Then high school softball and baseball season finales for softball. Palmer and West Valley will tango at 10 o'clock. And at 11:45, Monroe will face Lathrop. Palmer will face Eielson, and Wasilla will play West Valley. In baseball, Monroe hosts Eielson at noon at Grotto Memorial Park. Also at noon, North Pole will host Delta in a doubleheader at Newby Field. And for you racing fans, the GFRA will have their regular season of racing, plus the Legends and Gladiator class on the Mitchell Raceway Saturday night at 7 p.m. a part of their opening weekend. And now we close the Sportscast with this week's Play of the Week. We go back to the North Pole Speedway. Second-year driver Austin Cody, racing in the number 17 car, somehow gets a photo finish over Alfredo in the 43 car in the main event last week. Cody won by 0.1 seconds, completing his sweep in racing last Thursday night, winning both heats and the main event in the Legends class. It was his first win of the season. To vote for the next Play of the Week, be sure to catch the I-5, the interior top 5 plays, on Mondays during our weekend recap. And that's a wrap for sports tonight. Your full weather forecast is coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the weather segment. Mike's still out, so we thought we'd give him the 2 days off and give him a nice long weekend to recover. Hope he's doing better. Let's look at your almanac for today. As you can see, our normal high is 67. For the most part, we were there. Our normal low is 43. Our record, you have to go back all the way to the year of 2013 for our record high. That was a long time ago, 84 degrees. Our record low, 28 degrees in 1931. Sunrise and sunset equals 20 hours, 21 minutes. That is a positive gain of 4 minutes over yesterday. Taking a look around the state, you can see the satellite imagery that we got for you. Yes, there is a system affecting the southern Gulf, and that is slowly making its way up through the interior, but so we will see some clouds, but a little chance for rain for right now, but it will affect the Anchorage Bowl area as well. Tell you what I mean. Let's go ahead and take a look at numbers around the state there. As you can see, that system is affecting not only from the Panhandle, but also out there on the Aleutians and off the coast there as well. So pretty widespread as far as that's concerned. In the interior, it was gorgeous today in the low 70s, especially for Fort Yukon there. Barrow, 27 degrees, and on the west coast, fog for Nome, but temperatures pretty much normal where they should be this time of year. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lower 48, and as you can see, satellite radar, what are we looking at here? We're looking at several storm systems developing over today and through the weekend. Of course, going to affect the central plain states as well. And then in the Gulf of Mexico as well, a system going right there. A peculiar weather pattern. It's actually going backwards in places, but that will affect some storms, moderate to severe scheduled for this weekend, and hopefully it won't be in that severe category. Okay, taking a look, gusty winds will be coming up from the south, from Mexico, into the central plain states, also causing possibly strong thunderstorm systems to develop right over states of Minnesota, Illinois as well, affecting pretty much top and bottom of the states going toward the east coast. And that is actually going to continue through the weekend, warm in the Pacific coast. All right, world weather hotspot for today. Interesting. New Delhi, India. Temperature reached 111 degrees on Thursday. No, thank you. Let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast for the northern region of Alaska. Freezing rain for Barrow, periods of rain for Nome, and isolated showers for Fort Yukon. As you can see, that weather system is going to even affect us this far north. Taking a look at the interior here, what does it say? Well, we're going to have windy conditions. Like I said, not much rain possible, but expect winds all the way from Healy into through Delta as well. Taking a look now at the Anchorage, or the southeast, chance of rain for Juneau, slight chance of rain for Ketchikan, moderate temperatures in the 50s and 60s there. In the southwest, temperatures in the 40s, scattered showers for Cold Bay and Bethel, just rain for Kodiak. And one more, let's take a look real quickly. Rain across the region in the Anchorage Bowl. All the way in temperatures in the lower 50s for them too. So it's not going to be an enjoyable weekend for them if they've got outdoor activities. Taking a look real quick at our allergy report, and nothing really changing. Trees still at high levels, grass, weeds, and mold still at the low levels. Thank you, Tanana Valley Clinic. Let's take a look at your forecast overnight. 41 degrees and increasing clouds. Tomorrow, let's take a look there. 62 for our high, a little cooler, continued mostly cloudy though. And taking a look at our 5-day forecast, 60s, and then temperatures even in the 50s on Monday. They rebound by Tuesday and Wednesday, but overnight lows staying steadily in the 40s, shaping up to be a pretty nice weekend nonetheless.
Yeah, it seems like a Slight dip in the
Yeah,
temperatures.
but you know, for the outdoor activities, it's perfect. It's not too hot, not too cold, especially that grueling pump house race where they go around the ridge. Oh, that's terrible. I've seen that before. That's amazing. All right, that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
And we hope to see you tonight at 11 and, of course, this weekend on Saturday.
Good night.